Well, hello YouTube, and a warm welcome to the Essentially Crypto channel. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm your host. Now, today's video is an interesting one, to say the least. It's a theory that I have. I think that if we put it into practice, we can cause an infinite burn of Omi. Yes, you heard that right, an infinite burning loop of Omi. So let me know in the comments below if there's something I haven't thought of, if there's something that I'm not seeing here and not seeing why it wouldn't work, because I've tried to do the sums in my mind, I've tried to do the thinking in my mind, I've put a little presentation up for you, which I'm going to show you in a second, and I think that this could be an infinite burn of Omi without anybody losing out anything, which essentially, if we were to do this, if we were to get together as a community and do this, we could make Omi token rocket to the moon, like literally past the moon, hit Mars, hit Jupiter, all that kind of thing. And I'm not just saying that as a moon boy thing, like yay, it can happen. I'm saying that because it really could, if this is put in place. And there's absolutely no reason why we couldn't put it in place, because of the fact that it just takes a couple of us to do it, and a couple of us to get on board and do it, and then it will go crazy. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments after you've watched the video, if you think it'll work, and what things I haven't thought of as to why it wouldn't work, because maybe there's just a simple thing in there that I'm not seeing, and therefore I'm a complete idiot. But I'm hoping that's not the case. If there's any video that you like in my entire little collection of videos, please like this one, because we want to get this to as many people as possible, because if we can do this, the sky's the limit. So let's move over to the main screen. In fact, no, we're not going to move over to the main screen. I'm going to make myself smaller. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make myself smaller so that way I can show you the presentation. So here's the thing. The first thing you do is you go to the exchange and you buy yourself some Omi. Okay, so in this case, I bought myself $100 worth of Omi. Nice little Omi symbol there and all that. I took some time on this. So there you go. So $100 worth of Omi. Now, here's the thing. Okay, this is a bit of a caveat straight away. The first caveat is that this isn't available at the moment. Okay, you can buy money on the exchange, but what you can't do is you can't do Omi to NFT yet. Okay, so in this exchange, what you would do is you go to the exchange, you buy yourself $100, and then you buy yourself an NFT using that $100 or $100 of Omi. Okay, now as I said, you can't do it at the moment, but when it does come in, you will be able to do that. So there's absolutely no reason why you can't use that process. Now, the caveat to that as well is there is only going to be, a percentage of collectibles available to be bought with Omi. And I guess the reason this is because of the fact that they've got to cover their costs somehow. As Dan said, they're not going to make any money from that, but they will still be paying out license fees and all that kind of stuff. So they have to cover their costs. So the way they're going to do that is they're still going to do Omi to NFT to give Omi some utility as well, but they're only going to do it to a percentage of collectibles. So there might be, as an example, 40% of collectibles out there that you can buy with Omi, and then the rest you have to buy in gems. Now, incidentally, if you buy a Marvel one, you can buy it with Omi as well, but you would have to pay the fee. This is on the marketplace, incidentally. You would have to pay the 6% fee in gems. So therefore, it gets a little bit confusing, so we won't go over that. But the point is that when the Marvel to I'm getting all confused now. I'm getting so excited. When the Omi to NFT comes out, you will be able to do this. Okay, so you buy it from the exchange, $100 worth of Omi. You then buy $100 NFT with your Omi. That in turn makes that Omi burn completely, because they said they don't want to put any downward pressure on the token, any selling pressure, so therefore they will burn that Omi, which means that they in turn won't make any money from that specific purchase, but they will make money in the long run. Okay, so next up, you then find that because of that, you've got $100 worth of Omi, you've then burnt that off the exchange, essentially, which means the price of Omi will go up. Okay, now we know this is all coming, so that is not speculation. That is true. That's exactly what they've said is going to happen, and that is what will happen. The next bit is a little bit of speculation as to what's going to happen, but still using proof as well. Okay, so next what you do is you've then ended up with an NFT, haven't you? You've got an NFT with Omi, which is nice because people like the NFTs, but you don't necessarily want loads of the same NFT. Maybe you don't want that particular NFT because it was one of them that was done with the Omi to NFT. Maybe you didn't want that one or whatever, but that doesn't matter because you're not going to keep the NFT. So here's what you do: you then go to the market and you put that for sale on the market. Now remember, there's a marketplace fee every time you sell something, so therefore you have to put that above retail value. Okay, now there are a lot of people out there who are putting things out below retail value when they've just come out, which is absolutely crazy, but they're doing it. So I don't see why there'll be any different putting it below retail value on the market in order to increase the burn of Omi. But you never know. So just as a caveat, I've made sure that I include that in the price. So the caveat of it won't sell at above market value is probably true. However, as I said, you can actually get a group of you together to do this. So therefore, what could happen is like Joe can then take his collectible and then sell it to Ian will buy it, and then Ian will then sell it on to Steve, and then Steve will then sell it back to Joe. Do you understand what I mean? So you're creating an infinite loop of people who are doing this, which in turn creates an infinite loop of burn of Omi. So you take your collectible, you put it on the market for $103. So let's say you put it for $103, but you put it in gems. Okay, that's very, very important. Now, again, caveat to this is because we haven't sold anything or bought anything in Omi, we don't know if you're going to be able to then sell it on for gems. Now, when they were talking about it, they did say that you can choose whether to put it in Omi or gems, but I do not know if they're going to make you sell it in the currency you bought it in. So that, again, is a big caveat that I don't know if that's going to be the case, but in theory, that shouldn't be the case, because if I was to buy something in Omi and then say send it to James, who then wants to sell it on, he shouldn't have to sell it in Omi because of the fact that it becomes his property and he can sell it however he likes. So therefore, if they put a thing in that you have to sell it in the currency you bought it at, in theory you could just send it to somebody else, or you could just sell it to someone for, well, no, you couldn't sell it to them for gems either. So I don't know what you would do in that situation. So, put in the comments what you think. Let me know. Please let me know about that situation. So, in theory, that shouldn't happen. Okay? So, therefore, you've then got gems. And then what you do is, from the reserve, automatically, that amount of Omi will essentially be reserved for those gems. Now, the reason I put it into here, it doesn't really work like that. It works in the sense that the person who is buying it from you in gems already has essentially that Omi in their possession. Okay, but just for now, let's pretend that the reserve wallet puts that amount of Omi there now. Okay, but it's already there. Okay, so for now, it's there. Then what happens is the 2.5% of Omi has to be paid for that transaction or of the gems, which in turn will burn that 2.5% of Omi from the reserve wallet. Okay, but that doesn't really make a lot of difference. Then, after that, you would then get 100 gems. So that's what you would get. So basically, you've put in $100, you bought yourself an NFT, you've then sold it for 103, you've paid the market tax, and you've ended up with 100 gems. But you've still got 100 gems remaining. So what do you do with that? Well, then you go to the MTL, the money transfer license, and it's going to be like a little, transfer of gems to fiat. So therefore, you use the gems to fiat transfer, and Dan himself, when somebody asked him about how is the gems to fiat going to work, is it going to burn the Omi, he said, yes, it just works exactly the same as the ecosystem. So again, when the MTL is in place, because it's gems, they've got like a floating cache of gems, a floating cache of money where the gems were purchased, so that gets paid out to you in original dollars. So no Omi is then put back on the exchange or anything like that. So that Omi also burns. And then what happens is you get yourself $100. So basically what you've done is you've bought money off the exchange, which in turn makes the price rise, and then you've burnt that Omi, you burnt not money, you bought Omi off the exchange, which makes the price rise, and you burnt that Omi by buying an NFT. So that's $100 worth of Omi that you've burnt off the exchange, which makes the price rise. And then you've gone to the market and you've sold your NFT, which means that you've spent 2.5% of Omi from the reserve wallet and another $100 of Omi from the reserve wallet when you change it back into your $100, which means that you burn Omi 3 times to a total of $203 worth of Omi, half being from the exchange, half being from the reserve, and that is how we're going to make it rocket to the moon. So there you go. I think that is an infinite burn of Omi. If you get, as I said, a couple of friends to help you out to do it, then it's possible. If any whales get hold of this video and decide that this is what they want to do to make the price of Omi token soar, then this can happen. as far as I'm aware. Let me know in the comments if you've got any reason as to why it can't happen. Oh, incidentally, there is another reason why it can't happen, and that is that if the MTL charges you to change from from gems back into fiat. So it probably will. It'll probably have some kind of transaction fee. But then if that's the case, you're not doing this, again, you're not doing this to make money. You're doing this to burn Omi. So you can either suck up that cost, essentially, and I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to do that, or because essentially the price on the exchange will rocket, or you can just put that into the fee of the marketplace originally when you sell your NFT. So if you've got to pay, I don't know, say a 2% fee, or let's say 2.5% fee again, what you would do, instead of putting it at $103, you put it at $106. You'll then have the $3 come from that, you'll have the $100, and then either way, you'll still end up with $100. And if you're selling it to your friend who's then buying it, who's then taking it and then selling exactly the same thing onto Steve, and then Steve selling exactly the same thing onto John, and then selling exactly the same thing, it means that only one person will ever lose out, which is the person at the end of the line. And essentially, there's never going to be anyone at the end of the line, because you can just keep on going round and round and round and round until the price of Omi goes up, 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 and you make a butt ton of money. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Please, please like this video. Get it out to as many people as possible, because if this is the case, then you can see how it can happen, how it can work. And I don't see any downside to it at this moment in time. The only downside I see is if certain things have extra amounts, but if you do it with friends, as I said, that can be the issue. That can be the issue sorted. The only issue is if they decide that a lot of these things aren't going to happen, but there's no reason why not. They've said they're coming. They're all coming. Omi Burn's there, Omi Burn's there, and Omi Burn's there. So what's the problem? And also, not only that, all of these things are actually in the app. It's not going to cause anyone to lose money. If anything, it's going to make Ecomi more money every time. Because every time something sells on the market, they automatically get the 2.5%, and that's coming in gems, remember. So they get 2.5% sale on that, and then the MTL, they will get a percentage of that as well. So that means that they will get an infinite loop of market and money, and their cost of Omi goes up as well on the exchange. So it literally benefits everybody, and I cannot see a reason why it would not work. So please, I'm getting so excited about this. Please put in the comments below whether or not you'll think it'll work, and like scupper all my dreams in one fell swoop by saying you haven't thought of this. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Don't take this as financial advice in any way, shape or form, because obviously it's not. I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about. All these little pictures are all very pretty, but if they don't mean anything, then it's a load of rubbish. So take this as speculation, but hopefully good speculation that if everybody gets behind, it can go absolutely crazy and rocket to the moon. Or even past that, as I said. But thank you very much for joining me. As always, don't take it as financial advice or anything like that, because crypto can go up and you can make you loads and loads of money, like we hope it does. Or you can go down and it can lose every single thing that you've put in. But that is, in a nutshell, essentially crypto. Thanks very much. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.